This WCPX TV special presentation of the Protect a Kid quiz is sponsored by T.G. Lee Dairy, the Florida dairy that quality built.
What would you do if a stranger drove up in a car and said, "Get in"? If a stranger lost a cat and asked you to help her find it, would you go with her? What would you do if a stranger followed you home from school? And if you're home alone and someone knocks on your door, what would you do? We'll give you the answers to those questions and others on the Protect a Kid quiz.
Hi, I'm Bob Sokoler. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to give you some tips on how to protect yourself. I'm going to ask you 20 questions about things that might happen to you coming home from school, maybe while you're at home, or even at a playground like this one. We've assembled children both here at this playground and also at home. We're going to ask them to take the quiz along with us on television. But before we do that, I want to ask the kids here if you do a favor for me and draw for me, if you would, what you think a stranger looks like. Grab a piece of paper. Great, and a pen. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Okay. All righty. Now, while some of these children are drawing, let's find out what they think a stranger looks like, okay?
I don't know. He's somebody that you don't know and who wants to, like, child abuse you.
Those are some good answers, but let's now take a look at some of the pictures that you've drawn, okay? Hand them over to me, will you? Okay. All righty. Okay. Well, some of those pictures look like they're pictures of monsters, don't they? Yeah, I'll tell you. Let me tell you the definition of a stranger. A stranger is anybody that both you and your parents, your mom and dad, don't know. That is a stranger. There are good strangers and there are bad strangers. And we're going to teach you how to deal with bad strangers. We'll start with question 1 when we come back. We're back now with Protect a Kid. If you've got a copy of our quiz, great. You can follow along with us. If you don't have a copy of the quiz, then write down on a piece of paper the numbers 1 through 20, like this. At the end of the quiz, we'll add up the right answers and the wrong answers and see how you did. Now, besides the children here at the playground who will be helping us and the children at home, we've also asked a young actress named Heather Shea to help us act out each question, and then she'll tell us what she learned from the answers. Here is the first question, question number 1.
Pretend you're walking down the street and a stranger comes up to you and says,
"Hi there."
what should you do? A, say hi to the person. B, run away. Or C, just keep on walking. We asked our own group of Protect a Kid quiz kids. Their answers?
Say hi to the person.
Say hi to the person?
I keep on walking. I keep on walking, too.
The correct answer here, letter C. Just keep her, we'll tell you why.
If I don't know the stranger, it's safer to keep on walking.
Okay, question number 2. You're walking home and a car pulls up next to you. A stranger inside says,
"Get in the car."
what should you do? A, follow the stranger's directions. B, run away and shout for help. Or C, just keep on walking. Our kids who are between 8 and 13 years old think,
Keep walking. I'd keep walking. I'd keep walking, too.
the correct answer here is actually B, run away and shout for help. This is a potentially dangerous situation.
The stranger in the car that said get in could be some problems. Get out quick.
Question 3. Pretend you're walking home from school. A stranger in a car drives up and says your mom is sick and she wants you to go with her. What should you do? A, run home. B, get in the car. Or C, run back into the school.
I'd run back into the school.
Same here.
I'd run back into the school, too.
I'd run back into the school.
I'd tell a teacher or someone.
That's right. The answer is C, run back into the school. Get some help from a teacher. Right, Heather?
My mommy and I should have a code word, like Paul. If somebody could come and pick me up, who could use the code word.
So pool would be your code word?
Yes.
And you wouldn't go with anybody unless they said the word pool?
Yes.
Question 4 now. Pretend you're at the playground, you walk to a bathroom, and a stranger standing by the bathroom door looks at you and says,
Hey, come here. I want to show you something. Come here.
what should you do? A, find another bathroom. B, run back to the playground and tell another adult. Or C, walk over to the stranger slowly.
Walk to another adult and tell him what he's done.
Yeah,
what he said.
a teacher.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees with that?
Yes.
That's right. The correct answer is B. Run back to the playground and tell another adult.
Remember, kids, don't go anywhere with a stranger, okay?
Okay, Heather. Now question 5. Pretend you're waiting with your friend and a car stops next to you.
Hey, somebody stole my kittens. Would you like to help me find them?
Now, what would you do? A, help the person. B, run towards other children or into the house. Or C, look for a police officer to help the man. Our group of Protect a Kid quiz kids say...
I'd go to a police officer.
Yes,
If there was
so
one
do
around.
I.
I'd run back into my house.
But if there was a
Other
police
kids.
officer around, I'd go to him. But if there wasn't, I'd go into the house.
Actually, the best answer here is B, run towards other children or into the house. Then with your mom or dad, look for a police officer.
Get away from strangers as quick as you can.
Up next, question number 6. Pretend you're walking down the street and you notice a stranger following you. What should you do? A, run into a store and tell the nearest adult. B, run into a store and tell the nearest salesperson. Or C, run home or into the home of a friend.
I'd probably, if there's a store right around close, I'd go in and tell one of the salespersons.
Go into one of my friend's house. See, I would go into a friend's house. I'd do any of them, but the most likely I'd do is probably go to a friend's house.
That's right. The answer could be B, run into a store if you're near a store and tell the nearest salesperson. Or C, run home or into the home of a friend.
Try to find somebody that you know or a person that's in the store with a name tag on.
Okay, based on those questions, let's ask the kids who are here at the playground what they would do if a stranger walked up to you and said, "What's your name?"
I would ignore him. I'd go to an adult who could help me.
I'd run away to an adult that could help me.
Those answers aren't bad, but the actual answer is if your mom and dad are in the playground, go tell them what the stranger had just asked you. If they're not there, go find an adult that you can trust and tell them what happened. How you doing so far, okay? Well, coming up next, when Protect a Kid continues, we'll ask you what you would do if your next-door neighbor came up to you and said, they got a new puppy, they want you to play with it. What would you do? We'll find out when Protect a Kid continues. Back now with Protect a Kid. Gang, has a stranger ever offered you some candy?
No.
No? Good, that's good. Never, ever accept candy from a stranger, right? Right, okay. Now, let's get on with question number 7.
Now just pretend you're playing in your front yard on your bike. A neighbor down the street walks up to you and says,
Hey, honey, where's your mom and dad? Would you like to come over and see my puppies?
now what would you do? A, tell your mom or dad where you're going. B, ignore the neighbor. Or C, tell the neighbor, no thanks. Our group of Protect a Kid quiz kids, who range from the 3rd grade to the 7th, believe the correct answer is...
I'd tell the neighbor no thanks.
I would just tell my parents where I'm going, because a neighbor is usually friendly and you usually know who a neighbor is.
Yeah, if I knew the neighbor, I'd ask my mom, but if I didn't, I'd just say no thanks and probably go in the house.
The correct answer here is A. No matter what you want to do, first, tell your mom and dad where you're going. If they have an objection, they'll let you know.
Always tell your mom and dad where you're going before you go.
Okay, we're up to question number 8. Pretend you're home alone. A stranger comes to your door and says,
Hey, my car broke down. My car broke down. Can I use your phone?
Now, if this happened to you, what would you do? A, tell the person it's okay as long as it's a local call. B, don't open the door, but pass the phone out through a window. Or C, don't even answer the door. Here's what our group of kids think is the correct answer.
I wouldn't answer the door because when you're alone, you should never answer the door.
Same, I wouldn't answer the door either.
Maybe
I wouldn't answer the door.
I wouldn't answer the door and maybe go call for some help for him or something like that.
If I did answer and see what it was, I'd say our phone's out of order.
The correct answer here is C. If there's a stranger outside, don't ever answer the door if you're home alone. Heather has memorized that answer.
Don't answer the door when you're home alone.
Okay, question number 9. Pretend now that you're lost in a shopping mall and a stranger comes up to you and says,
Are you lost? Come on with me. We'll find your mom.
what would you do? A, Go to a cash register, find a person with a name tag, and if they work in the store, tell them you're lost. B, tell the person you're not lost, and then look for your parents by yourself. Or C, tell the person you are not lost, and then go out and check your parents' car. I put that question to the Protect a Kid Quiz kids. Their answers?
Maybe tell a person that we're not lost and then go find a person with a sales tag or name tag on. So
I'd tell a salesperson.
Go right to a salesperson?
Yes.
I would tell the salesperson that I was lost and I didn't know where my parents were.
Say?
Yeah.
That's right. The correct answer is A. Find a person with a name tag on. By the way, Heather has one more thing to add to the answer.
If you're lost, never leave the store.
Okay, now here's question number 10, and think about this one. Pretend you're home alone, and the phone rings. Should you answer the phone? And if you do, if it's a stranger on the other end of the phone, and he wants to speak with your parents, what should you say to the stranger? Here are 3 possible answers. A, don't answer the phone. B, tell the man your parents are not home, but you'll take a message. C, tell the man your mom is busy giving the baby or dog a bath. We put those answers to our quiz kids. They think the correct answer is...
I'd say that my parents were busy giving the baby or dog a bath.
Yeah. Yes, same. Because then they would, if you told them they weren't there, they would maybe come in because they know no one was there to protect you.
They might hurt you.
Now, if your parents have given you permission to answer the phone when they're not home, then the correct answer here is C. Tell the man or the stranger that your mother or dad is busy giving the baby or dog a bath, but you'll take a message.
Never tell the person that's on the phone your mom and dad aren't home.
That's right. Now, question number 11. Your PZs, which are your private zones, are your A, parts of your body washed when you scrub your face, B, parts of your body covered by your bathing suit, or C, parts of your body covered by a coat.
probably a bathing suit. I'd also say parts of your body covered by the bathing suit.
Parts of your body covered by your bathing suit.
Oh, you agree?
Yes. Bathing suit. Bathing suit.
That's right. The correct answer is B, the parts of your body covered by your bathing suit. Now, that leads us to question number 12. If someone tries to touch your PZs, your private zones, you can tell A, your mom, B, your dad, C, a friend, or D, your teacher or an adult you trust. Our Protect a Kid Quiz kids think the correct answer is...
Your dad or mom. I'd tell my mom, and she may contact someone else, but first I would tell my mom.
I would do any of them. Talk to my mom, dad, whoever I trusted the most.
That's right. The correct answers would be A, B, C, or D, anyone that you trusted. Now, that brings us to question number 13. If someone asks you to take a ride with them and you run away and call the police, what information should you give them? A, a description of the person, B, the license plate number of the person's car, or C, the street you were on. Our Protect a Kid Quiz kids think the correct answer is...
I'd say the license plate of the person's car and their description.
Yeah, all three.
Right. The street would, I don't think the street would matter.
Isn't as important, but it was pretty.
It would help where they're going from there.
All three of them.
Right.
Yes.
The correct answer is here, A, a description of the person, B, the license plate number of the person's car, and C, if you can remember, the street you were on.
Try to remember as much as you can to get to the police.
Okay, now here's a quick Protect a Kid quiz tip. If your parents are going out for the evening, make sure they leave the babysitter a telephone number where they can be reached, the telephone number of a next-door neighbor they can trust, and also the telephone number of the police department. Coming up next, a big question, what's the golden rule? We'll answer that when we continue. We are back now with Protect a Kid. Before we get to question number 14, a quick question for 2 of the children who are here in the playground with us. Come on in here, folks. This young lady represents a stranger walking this way. This gentleman walking home from school walking this way. This stranger tries to grab you. Which way do you run? That way. Okay. If this is a stranger, he's walking this way, he tries to grab you, which way do you run? That way. Always run the opposite from where the stranger's coming from. Thanks a lot. Here now, question number 14.
What's the golden rule you should always follow when leaving the house? A, wash your hands. B, leave a note to tell your parents where you're going. Or C, tell your parents where you're going before you leave the house. Well, that's the question we put to our Protected Kid Quiz kids. Again, they're between the ages of 8 and 13 years of age. Their answers?
Tell your parents you're leaving.
Yeah.
Before you leave, tell your parents.
Before you even leave. Or if you forget to, you should write them a note and tell them.
Yeah. But first is tell them.
Yeah.
That's right. The correct answer here is C. First, tell your parents where you're going. Then leave the house if they say it's okay.
Again, tell your parents where you're going before you leave.
Okay, we're now up to question number 15. Pretend you're waiting in front of the movies for your mother to pick you up. A police officer in front of a theater says,
"Your mother's just been in a car accident. Get in the car and come with me. I'll take you to the hospital."
Now, what would you do in a case like this? A, tell another adult. B, check to see if the police officer knows your name. Or C, check the police officer's badge and look to see if his car is clearly marked.
I looked to see if his car was clearly marked and see if he knew my name.
Yeah, I do those too.
I do also.
The correct answer here, A, B, and C. But the first thing you should do is try to find an adult at the theater that you know. Tell that person what's happening, and they'll help you check out the police officer's badge and look to see if his car is clearly marked.
You can trust a police officer and make sure it is a police officer.
Thanks, Heather. We're up to question number 16 now. Say, for example, Mom and Dad don't live together anymore. You live with your mom, but one day while walking out of the school, your dad comes up to you and says,
Mom doesn't want you anymore. You come with me.
What should you do? A, go with your dad. B, tell a friend you're going with your dad. C, yell no and then run to a teacher and tell them what's happening. Or D, run to a phone and call your mom. Our quiz kids say the answer is...
C and D. First I'd yell no and run to someone.
I would call my mom because you'd probably know your dad. And I'd just call my mom to let her know in case he did something to you.
Actually, the best answer here is C. Yell no and run to a teacher. The teacher can help you call your mom.
And before we get to question number 17, we want to remind you that what you're about to see is a simulation. That means we've had some people act this out, like a play in a school. But it could happen to you, and we want you to know what to do in case it does.
You're walking down the street, and a man grabs you and throws you in his car or truck. What should you do? Is the answer A, don't buckle your seatbelt, B, jump out of the car when it stops, C, tell the man you have to go to the bathroom, or D, cry until the man lets you go? Our quiz kids say the answer to the question is...
I'd cry and say I had to use the bathroom.
I'd probably wait till his car stops and then jump out and run. First, I'd probably start crying and then tell him that I had to go to the bathroom. And then when the car stopped, I'd probably jump out, start running.
When the car stopped, I just run out and just start yelling and telling people.
Answers A and B are correct. Don't buckle your seatbelt and jump out when the car stops.
You jump out when the nearest door at the gas station.
And one more thing, try to stay calm. Okay, question number 18. You're at a shopping center. A man grabs you and starts pulling you with him. What should you scream? A, help. B, I don't want to go. Or C, help, this man is not my father.
I'd probably yell C, help, my man is not this father.
But help. Helping this man is not my father.
Because sometimes when you just say help, it's just like a joke, but when you say this man is absolutely not my father, they know it's serious.
That's exactly right. The answer is C. Yell, help, this man is not my father.
It's important that you yell, help, it ain't my father.
Okay, question number 19 now. You come home from school knowing Mom is still at work, but you hear someone in the bedroom or the house. What should you do? A, go into the bedroom to see if Mom is home early. B, go to the phone and call the police. Or C, leave the house, go to a neighbor's house, and then call your house.
I'd do C. I'd go to a neighbor's because if there's somebody weird in there, you don't know what's going to happen.
call the police and then go to a neighbor's house.
You call the police first and then go to the neighbor's house?
I'd go to the neighbors and call the police because if there is somebody in there, they might come out and hurt you.
That's right. The answer is C. Get out of the house, go to a neighbor's house, and then call your house. If something's wrong, then call the police.
It's better to go to the neighbor's house and call your house.
Well, gang, how you doing so far? Getting the questions correct?
Yeah!
Well, we'll see how you do when we score you in just a few minutes. When we come back, we're going to test your eyesight with question number 20. That's when we come back on Protect a Kid. All right, before we continue, a quick review. You can say no to strangers, right?
Right!
Okay. If someone tries to touch your private zones, you can tell your mom or dad or someone you trust, right?
Right!
And it's okay to run away from a stranger who tries to grab you, right?
Right!
All right, now, let's get on with question number 20.
We're going to test your eyesight here. What's wrong with this picture? A, Heather's walking alone. B, Heather's name is on her clothing. Or C, Heather should be watching the traffic. What do you think?
Heather's name is on the clothing, so someone could drive up and say, Heather, your mom's in trouble.
And first of all, she shouldn't even be walking alone because it can be dangerous. She should always walk with a
I know your mother, and she would not know if she knew him or not.
Because she's so little, she'd think, well, they know my name, so it must be all right. But she wouldn't think about her name being on the back of the clothing.
That's right. The correct answer here is B. Heather's name is on her clothing. It may be nice to have your name on your clothing, but it can also be dangerous. Better to be safe than sorry, right?
Never wear anything with your name on it.
Okay, gang, how'd you do?
Good!
Good? All right, the quiz is worth 100 points. Mark off 5 points for each answer you got wrong.
If you got all the answers correct, give yourself 100 points. Take off 5 points for each answer you got wrong. 90 to 100 points is considered excellent. 80 to 90 points is considered good. 70 to 80 points is borderline. Anything less than 70 points or 6 wrong, and you need to work on your Protect a Kid skills. By the way, no matter what you scored, it's important to always stay alert. And it's also important to talk about the quiz with friends, parents, and teachers. Go over the answers you got wrong so you know what to do just in case of an emergency.
Okay, let's find out what the kids here at the playground learned for the Protect a Kid quiz.
I learned of how to ignore strangers and of how to pay no attention to them. Never to go anywhere with a stranger.
Well, that's it. I hope you did well. We want to suggest that you discuss what you learned here today with your parents, with your teachers, and with your friends. Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Sokoler for Protect a Kid. Bye-bye.